What is going on, guys? Poketism here, back with another investing video. If you like the content, consider dropping a like, maybe even a comment saying SpaghettiOs, and a subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And for our based and beta comment of the day, base comment of the day goes to Pimp on a Blimp, who says SpaghettiOs. Very based comment, appreciate that. And then for our beta comment of the day, we have Shadow Master saying, Ascended Heroes is equivalent to Evolving Skies based. That is incorrect, Shadow Master. No, 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 no. That's a beta comment. Thank you for your comment, Shadow Master. So, Ascended Heroes is a fantastic set, but I do not believe it is the equivalent to Evolving Skies. An unpopular opinion, but Gengar being my favorite Pokemon, I'm not a huge fan of the Gengar SIR. If I was to drop $1,000 on that Gengar SIR right now, I would rather just buy a PSA 9 Japanese fossil Gengar with that kind of money. Way cooler, in my opinion. Anyways, I digress. So, in today's video, we are going to look over some of the trending products from the Collector website. So, Collector every once in a while will update what's trending, what's popular on their website. And so I've picked a few items to review the charts on in TCG Player. So let's jump into it. So number one, we always got to check out the Ascended Heroes ETB, see how it's doing here. Still slowly working up, volume slowing down just a tad. I think people aren't really wanting to pay 120, 130 for these elite trainer boxes. If we look at most recent sales, 116, 120, 117, 117, 118. Yesterday, these were selling in droves for about 120, so we're starting to see a little tick downwards. I don't know how long that will be sustainable. Also, coming out, it's either this week or next week, there is going to be an Ascended Heroes poster collection with 10 packs hitting the shelves. So more Ascended product is coming out, and maybe we will see the prices of the ETBs cool off a little bit, where we can start accumulating a better position. So I'm up to about 5 of these now. I don't really want to be paying over $120. So I'm going to be looking out for good deals as time goes on, and usually around close to about halfway through the print cycle of a newer product is usually where you can find, or you have enough data to make some good decisions on how you want a dollar cost average. So we will see how things go for this product. I still don't have a Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. I just can't pay $350 for one. Like that's too expensive for a new one. We don't know how many more waves of the Pokemon Center ETB we will get. So I'm gonna just try to be patient. And I've been so tempted just to say, you know what? In the long run, I'll be fine. In 2 years, I'll be fine. But I know I can get in better, so I'm just going to be waiting patiently. I could be wrong, though, and end up kicking myself. And just as I expected, 151 Charizard EX here, cooling off. So one of my first videos was talking about why I was selling most of my 151 cards. And it's just because I wanted to take advantage of this liquidity grab. So we topped up, had sales up to $683 for the Charizard EX, which is just crazy. And then our volume has been decreasing. And with our volume decreasing, then people are trying to capitalize on their gains of these special illustration rares and therefore undercutting each other, which is bringing the price down. So we have a sale at $419, $410, $435, $435, $429. And I believe in that video, what I said is we're probably going to level out to around $400 a card, which we're working towards, and maybe consolidate there for a little bit. So we'll have to see if that prediction plays out or if we potentially go even lower. But I don't believe we're going to get back down to these levels here. I don't think we're ever going to see these prices again. I could be wrong, but we'll just have to see what the future has in store. So we have the Ultra Premium Collection here. This did get above $1,000. Yep. So 1,100 was the highest sold, and then we started leveling out at around 1,000, and the volume is also decreasing heavily here, which means we may see more undercuts as far as pricing goes. I believe on the collector page here, they said 893 is average sales. So that's probably pulling some data from eBay as well. But if we take a look here at the most recent sales on here, a couple days ago was $1,010, and then today we had a sale at 947. So I wouldn't be surprised if this keeps going down. We saw the huge volume spike here. I doubt the people who are buying here are selling them. So there's probably some people who want to capitalize on their position, selling off here, kind of similar to what we saw with the Charizard EX and 151 in general. The products are starting to correct a little bit as the volume decreases. That also brings us over to Blooming Waters. So Blooming Waters, geez, I remember about a year ago getting a box of this for $100 at one of my local game stores, and look at it now. It's over $300. It just blows my mind, the craziness of this market here. So we do have sales for 280 with a tear and a dent, box damage and denting, 265. Unopened 329, 324, 325. What were we seeing on collector here? So about 300 on average. It could be lagging in data or also pulling eBay sales as well. So we might see this product cool off a little bit too. Maybe we retest the $350 range, or excuse me, $250 range, or we might hover a little bit higher. But same sort of trend we're seeing with the 151 products. The volume is starting to decrease, which means less people are willing to pay these prices. And so people who want to capitalize on their gains are going to start undercutting each other, and there will be a correction. So we will just have to see how that plays out. And I do think it's possible that these 151 products will tear in the future, especially when it's officially rotated out. Now, in one of our previous videos, when we were looking at Evolving Skies, after it rotated out, it like pretty much 2x'd, and then it consolidated for like a year or so, slowly creeping up, and then a tear. So 151 is probably going to have a similar sort of vibe as we rotate out. It's going to have another tear, then we're going to correct a little bit, and then we're going to consolidate for a year or so. But no, this is a good box to have. It's going to increase in value over time quite significantly, but I would not be buying at these levels. Absolutely not. Now, one thing that I found interesting on the trending chart here was the Mega Charizard X EX. Although it looks like I am on the Japanese version, so let me pull up the English version here real quick. Sometimes that happens. Let's see. Where are you? Am I just not seeing it? All right, let's. Oh, we're still under Pokemon Japan. That's why. Rookie mistake, Poketism. Rookie mistake. Okay, there we go. So this one I have been watching for a bit, and it was hovering around $30 for a while. Let's see. We're going to change the condition to near mint. Yeah, so there was a lot of consolidating here, about $30. Bunch of people picking these up. And as the UPC prices have been approaching $200, these have just been taken off. Let's take a look at the 1 month, see the percentage growth. So yeah, 30% growth if you bought a month ago. And I definitely saw some content creators out there talking about how $30 is a good deal for this card. So, maybe this is influenced by some content creators, but $30 for this card, I think this is one of the best Charizards ever made. I actually like it more than the the Evolution line with Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard on the Phantasmal Flames special illustration rare. I know I'm going to get some slack for that, but I absolutely love this card, and I'm not surprised that it's doing well. I'm not much of a single hoarder unless it's 151 reverse Gengars. I got a ton of those in the past. I'm really happy I've held on to those, that's for sure. or they're about like $15 each now, which is just insane. But if I was hoarding cards, then I would have probably taken advantage back down at these levels, just because we were down here for quite some time, maybe about a month or two. But yeah, it's been taken off, and we'll take a look here at most recent sales: 41, 41, 40, 41, 39.99. Not surprised to see this creeping up. Now, speaking of which, we're going to take a look at the Mega Charizard UPC. For a long time, we were hovering around $150, $140, and I knew that I could not pass on that opportunity. So I did manage to get one at MSRP, and my girlfriend actually managed to snag one for me at a Barnes & Noble for MSRP. And MSRP now is about $129.99, and these prices here are just like 10 bucks, 15 bucks more than MSRP. So I'm surprised that the volume really didn't pick up while these were down here. We know this is going to do well over time. It's got a nice variety of packs inside of it with the Surging Sparks. Journey Together's but Destined Rivals, Phantasmal Flames, and Mega Evolutions, good pack selection in there. Looks like there was a big volume spike here at about 150, 293 of them sold. And our volume has kind of slowed down, but we are approaching $200 a UPC. 182, 193, 193, 193, 193. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. If you can find these for MSRP in the wild, I think it's a great grab. You should definitely take advantage of that. Now, this I kind of found a little bit crazy. So I don't recommend ever pre-ordering through TCG Player for like Elite Trainer boxes or product, because you're always going to be paying a lot more once they enter the market. I know some people believe Perfect Order is going to be a great investable set. Me personally, I would rather not park my money in here, but I do like to try to get one Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box per set that comes out. But there's no way I'm paying $350 for a Perfect Order, especially when Ascended Heroes is the same price right now for the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So pre-sales at $350, $350, $328, $330, $328. I'm sorry, but if you're pre-ordering at these prices, this is like peak mania lunacy. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know why people are doing this, but if it makes you happy, have at it. All right, Phantasmal Flames booster box. So this got to a low of around $200, which is when I picked up two of mine. I was like, there's no way that this is going to stay $200 forever. And I'm glad I did. So as you see, cranking up here over the past 2-3 months, maybe even longer, all the way up to $350 a box. So this set, there was a lot of content creators out there kind of bashing this set. Small card pool, easy pull rates for the Charizard, but it's clear that the demand is there for this product, and Pokemon Company has not done another booster box reprint wave of this product. So due to the product not being as available right now, we've been slowly seeing the price churn up, but also the volume has slowly been decreasing because people aren't wanting to pay this much for a modern box. However, if we see a similar situation like Destined Rivals, where we just don't get reprints of the booster box, then who knows, this might become a $500 box. Only time will tell. Honestly, this is the craziest the Pokemon market has ever been, so I am not sure where we are headed with prices of booster boxes, which just means catching those Pokemon Center pre-release or pre-orders is going to be quite pivotal in order to get these products at MSRP. And who knows, those may be the first and last times you get those products, especially with these sets that aren't specialty sets, where we only get booster boxes through our local game stores or through the Pokemon website. these sets, if they aren't as popular as some of the specialty sets like Ascended Heroes, Prismatic Evolutions, or other big hitters in the Scarlet and Violet like Surging Sparks, Destined Rivals, uh, it's possible that we may not get huge print waves of this, but we're just going to have to see. I hope we get more print waves. I would love to pick up a few more boxes of this, but I'm not paying $350 for a Phantasmal Flame box. That's not happening. And then one thing I wanted to take a look at as well is the Black Bolt Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. So these were hovering for around like $170 for a while. Yeah, even lower, down to $150 3 months ago. I did manage to pick up a pair on an eBay auction. It was like buy both for $300, and that just felt like an amazing deal. And here we are, with volume increasing too, 220, 240. It's crazy. I was not expecting these boxes to tear up, but I think the market thinks that our odds of these, our odds of these being reprinted are probably quite low, and I believe that the FOMO wave for these products are kicking in. So when I got these, I've pretty much already 2x my money. They're going for, one sold for $299. Like, what is going on in the Pokemon space? This is like peak mania. It's just insane. But it's an exciting time. I just don't know how sustainable this is going to be across the entire hobby. I'm preparing myself. I'm buckling in for huge volatility swings here because, they are definitely coming. I don't know how sustainable this is unless there's just so much new money coming into the hobby, so many new collectors that plan to be here for a while coming into the hobby. But if they're just trend chasers, then they're going to be moving on to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Serialized cards, just kind of like after the September of 2025 run-up, when One Piece got a lot of attention and then all the Pokemon products started crashing. I hope another trend pops up where these products will correct, and then we who have been in this space for a while can capitalize and expand our positions on some of these premium products. I think people have finally understood that Pokemon Center exclusives, the exclusivity of it, the value is going to reflect that. And I have no doubt that Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are going to outperform booster boxes in the future. So White Flare, not as popular as Black Bolt, doesn't have the Seismitoad in it. I think that's part of the factor. Same sort of deal here, except we're around $200. This was back about $138 in December. Back in January, $150. Even in February, we were sitting at $150, and then we've just been picking up. Let's take a look at most recent sales. 208, 218, 214, 215, 220. So not as crazy as Black Bolt. Black Bolt at $300 just blows my mind. So that's pretty much what has been trending, or what Collector has put together for what is trending. It's always nice to see the crazy hype that's going on with Pokemon products out there. And if you have any ideas for a video or a based or beta comment to drop in the comments section, definitely drop it below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Hurrah!